Hello, I'm Daniela. In today's video, I want to talk about criticism, and as artists, we don't really discuss it very much. It's a topic that most people see as something negative, but it's something that if you put yourself out there, you'll receive criticism, whether you like it or not. In fact, there's only two types of people who don't receive criticism. Those that do not put themselves out there, that don't share their work, that don't ask for input, and those that are buffered from criticism. Maybe they have handlers or they have enough people between them and the actual people looking at their work that they really don't know what's going on with the situation. And there are people like that. As an artist, in order to grow, it's really important to hear other people's feedback and their perspective on your work. Now, that doesn't mean you have to change your work or your style. And that doesn't mean you have to strive to make anyone happy except yourself. But hearing that criticism, hearing that information about your piece, genuinely helpful comments, where somebody's giving you something specific about your work that they think can be improved, or that maybe you want to examine and consider maybe you think it can be improved as well. And this will help you to be a better artist. It will also help you to be a stronger person. Because you see all this different changes in your work and you don't take it personally. Now, we're all guilty of taking things personally. We all would love our first attempt at artwork to be perfect and to be happy with it. And you know what? If you are happy with your artwork, be happy with your artwork. But if you want to grow as an artist, it's important to take in different perspectives, to evaluate them, ask questions about those perspectives, and really get a feel for did I do the right thing here? The beauty of artwork is you can always go back and try again. That's what makes it so addictive, so wonderful, and at times so frustrating. So if you have somebody who you genuinely respect and they're willing to share their comments, their criticism of your work, be grateful, accept it. It doesn't mean you have to make the changes that they're suggesting, but it's very important to have that dialogue. Your goal then is to ask them questions, to get really specific so that you can get a feel for what they're referring to. And from there, the choice is yours. Is this comment in fact going to help me achieve my goal for whatever that project is? If that's the case, embrace it and move forward with it. Make your pivot so that you can encounter what you want from your painting or your piece of artwork, whatever that might be. If you decide that their comments, while very genuine and sincere, aren't exactly the direction you're heading in, well, that's fine too. Either way, this person put themselves out there and attempted to help you reach your goals. I find it's very helpful to be appreciative to these people, even if their comments aren't the exact thing I had in mind to reach my goal. Now, there are some people who offer criticism and genuinely you don't want to hear it. And that's okay. In this case, I would suggest just being polite and thanking them for their effort and their time. Again, it doesn't change who you are, and it shouldn't change your passion and desire to create art. If you're ever on the fence to whether criticism has been helpful to you or not, ask yourself a few questions. Am I happy with the process? Did I enjoy the process of creating this piece? Then ask yourself, am I happy with the outcome? Are there things that I think I can do differently to improve? Or did this achieve my goal for this project? Each project is slightly different. Some projects we're trying to create a feel. We're trying to learn new techniques. Not every project is going to be a masterpiece. That doesn't mean you can't love every project you do. But I think you know the difference between when a project is perfectly the way you want and just something that helps you achieve your goal. If someone criticizes your work, and you genuinely don't feel it's helpful, you don't have to accept that criticism. You also don't have to defend your work. So there's no reason to argue with somebody that your piece is valid, because if you think your piece is valid, well then it is. If somebody wants to buy your work and they want you to change it, well they can commission a specific article from you. And that's a little different than creating something and expecting everybody to love it. If you have a job to do with specific parameters, well then you try and meet those parameters. If you don't meet them and the person's very specific about how you didn't meet them, well strive to meet them. It doesn't take away from you, or it shouldn't make you feel negative about yourself or your work. And lastly, if you're brave enough to go out of your comfort zone, to share your work with others, you can handle anything they can throw at you. They can say things that you really don't want to hear, but that's okay because you spent the time and effort to create your piece. I guarantee that after the 100th time of being rejected, it starts to get a little bit easier when you hear somebody criticizing your piece. We just start to accept criticism, whether it means our work is perfect or not, as part of the process. It shouldn't discourage us, it shouldn't get us down, and we shouldn't see it as negative. It's just part of the process of creating and sharing art. And that will make us stronger and better artists in the long run. So now, just as it's important to handle criticism, it's also important to be considerate and thoughtful when giving criticism. I wouldn't necessarily volunteer my opinion on things. If somebody asks me, hey, what do you think of this? Well, then I'd share my opinion. I'd be very kind about it, very constructive, looking for things that are specific and never anything personal. So not only can we handle criticism very gracefully, but we can also share it gracefully as well. Now, how do you handle criticism? What techniques do you find are most valuable and easiest ways to accept it in your own life? Comment down below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for joining me today.